Alright, let's get back up on the Discord. A little more background on the Scattered Shores for anybody who's going to jump in to the weekly games. In this setting, magic and navigation. Given that the islands shift along magical, ever-changing ley lines, navigation is an arcane art as much as it is science. The navigators may be mages who can read the ley lines using enchanted charts to update with the island's movements. There are specialized schools and guilds dedicated to training and mastering this unique blend of cartography and ley line divination known as weaving. So yeah, Magnus is a weaver by trade, is essentially what that means. And most ships that are successful will have a weaver on board. I'm gonna drop that music just a hair. Blow my ears out just a little bit. Let's see here. Politics and power. The constantly changing landscape makes traditional empires and static borders obsolete. The power is transient, with influence being held by those who have the best understanding and control of the movement of the islands. A council of navigators, merchant princes, or a coalition of island mages might govern the trade and law across the waters in certain areas. So, territory changes all the time, and that was kind of the whole design behind the gods doing this. It's like it's never going to be stagnant again. There's constantly having to adapt to new things is never going to make it stagnant, and so people are always going to be aware, and what happened at the shattering won't transpire again. Also, there's not a bunch of gods laying up in the sky lounging about sucking up human gluttony anymore. The culture and society isolated by geographic... can I read? Let's try that again. Isolated by geography and has vast... and the vast sea, each island has developed its own distinct culture, religion, and identity. There could be a colorful tapestry of societies, from militant maritime states to mystic enclaves that are very reclusive, from trading ports bustling with activity to pirate islands operating beyond the reach of whatever local law there is. Maybe they are the law. Maybe they aren't even pirates. To them. There is a key feature to the Scattered Shores is the Old Cut. The Old Cut is a massive floating landmass. Excuse me, pardon me. The Old Cut is a massive floating landmass. It's a source of many legends, perhaps holding secrets of the world before the shattering. It's the carrot on a stick for adventurers, alchemists, archmages, all striving to find a way to ascend to its heights. The goal could unite or divide factions, spurring endless quests and conflicts. Essentially, what that means is... when the shattering happened, some piece of the Scattered Shores was raised from the water versus being broken apart. It's the largest landmass that's still one cohesive unit, and it's massive, and it causes a giant shadow on the... Matter of fact, as the moons and sun traverse, this shadow moves on the planet, and the Old Cut is massive. Everybody knows about it, but it's flying up just outside. There's a weird barrier surrounding it that does not allow airships to travel, or even teleportation magic, or every mean that is well known or at this point known at all to get through it doesn't work for some reason or another. But the Old Cut is a place of imagination, essentially, at this point in the campaign. The economy and the trade, the islands constant motion create a dynamic and volatile economy where trade routes and resources change periodically. Shipping lanes would be temporary, with a premium on information regarding the next season of leyline configurations. So, at this point, it's been 1,000 years. They kind of got it figured out. Still some weird changes here and there. Magic storms can cause some crazy stuff to happen. Captain Kyne's probably one of the best, with Magnus and Seraphina at his side. They got it figured out. They also have a map that my crew, has already found a map that has been dated at 1,000 years old. So now they're at the point now where they're trying to do the old seeing what's happening thing. What direction are we actually heading? Exploration or adventure. Adventurers sail between the islands, braving the unpredictable seas, discovering lost relics of pre-shattered world, battling sea monsters, exploring unknown islands that surface on the Great Leylines. Sometimes there'll be nothing there, and sometimes there'll be a giant castle, and then sometimes there'll be just a dead island. Like you saw on that previous map, there's fun with Tailspire is that I can bring the water level up, and as they're sailing past, but oop, what's this? Sunken treasures and all that kind of fun stuff. The technology and industry of the area, the need to adapt to a world in motion has spurred innovation. Airships are a burgeoning industry, attempting to reach the old cut or navigate the more reliably than sea vessels can. Magic-infused technology is prominent, with potential for unique advancements, steampunk-style contraptions powered by arcane energies, not unlike our Storm Chaser here with the lightning capacitors. Mythology and religion of the Scattered Shores, the deities and their battles that caused the shattering are central to the world's mythology. Different islands might worship different aspects of these deities, interpret the shattering in various ways, and have diverse end-of-the-world prophecies or beliefs about the significance of the old cut. Basically, the old gods are known, their names are known, but not to many at this point. People know Lunaria, Meridian, and Sylvanas, which are the white, red, and black moons respectively. They call them gods because they're celestial bodies, but they've never actually been like, I'm a god. People still worship them. People that do worship them do get divine powers. So there is something to that. The quest for the old cut, adventure point number 9. Adventurers and scholars alike obsess over reaching the old cut. Legends tell of hidden passages or keys to unlock its mysteries. And the promise of untold power and knowledge is at its core. Nobody knows, but that's what people do. Perhaps certain rare alignments of the islands during a particular, maybe sometimes the ley lines line up and you can get access to it. Not so far. Hasn't happened yet. But you know, people's minds run rampant when you don't have a set schedule of your planet. The flora, fauna, and monsters types, basically everything I think of and can think of. It's super fun. And the reason I love this is like any island they go to, I can make any realm. They can have a different flavor depending on the ley line that they're following. Super fun. Gives me the world at my fingertips, which I've always wanted as a DM, just be able to just come up with the craziest monsters and see what happens. But the scattered world and its mystical nature have given rise to the unique creatures and plants, some possibly thriving on ley line energy, evolving in unusual ways, or being created from the remnants of divine magic that caused the shattering, which is one of my favorite lines. I love that, because that basically means I can kind of just think of stuff and go for it, and then if they hate it, they'll tell me and we'll never use it again, or if they like it, I'll put it on D&D Beyond under Homebrew. Conflicts and antagonists. Warlords control mobile naval fortresses. Sea beasts act like leyline guardians. Rival factions seeking to monopolize on routes towards and around the old cut. Radical cultists who worship the destructive forces of the shattering. The old gods haven't completely left, even because of the shattering. There's still some people out there that think that maybe those are the things they should be worshipping since they're that powerful. Those people's dines usually aren't aligned with our heroes, but you never know. Background on the Scattered Shores. It's a world of high fantasy, seafaring adventure. Was forever changed when the old gods waged war against the encroaching Great Old Ones. Divine conflict shattered the planet, morphing its geography into an ever-changing mosaic of islands adrift on magical ley lines. Now only 3 gods remain, encapsulated within the white, red, and black moons, overseeing the remnants of their creation. The moons are the 3 siblings, Lunaria, Meridian, and Sindari. I said Sylvanas earlier. Sindari chose celestial dormancy over obliteration, becoming the moons that guard against the old one's return. Legends say they still influence the Scattered Shores from their lunar thrones, waging a silent war against chaos and preserving the world through chosen demigods. The fall of the old gods, when they encroached the gods of the world, which I'll go over in just a moment, not just the 3 siblings that survived, The gods sacrificed themselves to prevent the devastation of their world, corrupted by decadence. Their combined force drove back the darkness, but fractured the world's unity, resulting in the Great Shattering, which tore continents asunder, created the Leylines, created the now Leylines. They were much more concise. Think of a globe with its longitudinal and latitudinal lines and gridding it out. That was basically how the Leylines were, just kind of like a cage holding things in. Now think of more like a tapestry with the ends of the rugs fraying and going in different directions, and even the wind blowing some of the smaller ones. But they are visible, essentially. There are ways to see them, like infrared and all that stuff, much better. But if you got the keen eye and you have the magical wit, you can see them and follow them. The Great Shattering toward the continent center and created the new Leylines and left the old cut floating high above in an unreachable and enshrouded in mystery. The old cut. In the current area, centuries have passed since the Shattering, 10 to be exact. Demigods and cults vie for power among the islands, some claiming to be infused with divine essence. Meanwhile, the moons watch, ready to intervene if the old ones dare to surface once more. Current era bullet point number 2. The crew of the Storm Chaser is aware of the meteor showers. Everybody on it knows of it at this point. 10 years ago, meteors pierced the firmament, which is what they call the protective shield surrounding their planet that happens to also bubble around the Great Old Cut, or the Old Cut, with celestial fury. This event reignited interest in the old legends, including the existence of the fabled God's Eye Armillary, a device capable of traversing the Leylines and reaching the gods' final bastion, the Old Cut. The adventure we began at a dawn of promise and uncovering ancient artifacts. The God's Eye Armillary, composed of 9 platinum discs scattered across the scattered shores. Whoever possesses the Armillary can navigate the unpredictable Leylines perfectly, unlock the secrets of the Old Cut, and perhaps command the fate of the world. Captain Kine wants those 9 pieces of 8-ounce platinum that make up the Armillary. The 9 pieces of 8. I like that's pirate campaign. Come on. So right now the crew is in the works to, under the leadership of Captain Kine, find Brunestone, make the Storm Chaser an airship, while collecting bounties and making money to make this all happen, and everybody still gets paid and stays happy. But Captain Kine wants the God's Eye Armillary. He's spent his entire life following the Leylines. He understands this place better than most. And he wants up there. And he wants the best crew to help him. And right now we're doing pretty good. A little more background information on the current pantheon of the 3 moons. Lunaria, the White Moon, she was the goddess of purity and sacrifice. She represents the cleansing nature of light, sanctity of the soul, and the concept of giving oneself for the greater good. Her followers include clerics who heal and purify, paladins who protect the innocents, and those who believe in the ultimate price that is sacrifice. Meridian, the Red Moon, the male aspect moon, the gods of roads less chosen and change. He's the deity of travelers, adventurers, and all who seek to alter their fates. His domain encompasses crossroads, decisions, and inherent magic of possibility and transformation. Lots of casters take part in his knowledge and lore. And then Sindari is the Black Moon, the Lady of Ravens, essentially my take on the Raven Queen. But she's the inevitability of death. Sindari rules over the end of all things. She's certainty and the certainty of death and the mysterious beyond. She watches over the funerals, guides spirits, and is revered by those who respect the natural conclusion of all life's journeys. The gods that sacrifice themselves, so this is the Dead Pantheon. Dead Pantheon. They still have followers on the planet. They're still old temples that are lost to everything else, but they maintain and stayed up. Solquinox, the Brilliant Sun, the god of the science sun, Sky and sun, he governs the cycles of day and night, the seasons and the weather. He is a domain of harvest, growth, and the passage of time, embracing both the agricultural bounty and the scorching desert's harshness. All of the gods in this world are double aspect, not good, not bad. They're just life. They're just life-presented deities. I didn't want Baal and Merkel to be the enemies. I wanted death to be something that everybody... The whole point of it was, like, the world wasn't so harmonious and in unison, even the gods were getting along with each other on every aspect. So that's what brought the Great Old Ones in. Those are the actual true enemies of the overture of this. Thalassa was the endless depth, goddess of the seas and oceans. She held sway over all bodies of water, from the small streams to the deepest trenches. Sailors sought her favor, and she was known for her dual nature of calm benevolence, but also her stormy wrath. Valoria, the verdant bloom, which is one of my favorite goddesses, my take on the Wild Mother. Goddess of nature and fertility, Valoria's touch is seen in the growth of the forests and the spread of the meadows, and like the diverseness of all of the creatures. Fecundity. Those who wish to live in harmony with nature and the world and seek its boon in times of barrenness, honored Valoria. Pyraxis, the Inferno Chain. He was the god of fire, forge, and industry. This deity was worshipped by blacksmiths, craftsmen, steampunk, hardcore, gritty, covered in soot, a Morden type. His forges are said to be lie in the volcanic fires of the mountain ranges, where the world's heart beats to the rhythm of creation, which nobody has heard for a very long time. Maybe because it's flying in the sky. There's Aerolith, the Whisper Wind. Aerolith is the god of air, knowledge, and thought. This deity rules the skies and the mind's unseen realms. He is the patron of scholars, orators, and those seeking clarity and insight. The breath of inspiration and the winds of change are his gifts to the mortals. Were his gifts to the mortals. The gifts persist. The gods did not lose their gifts that they presented to their creations. They, obviously the tides still do their thing. The flora and fauna still do their thing without Valoria. The winds still change and blow. But that was part of their sacrifice, was perpetuating their gift without their presence and them enjoying it. Then we have Nocturne the Veiled. Nocturne was the goddess of shadows, secrets, and stealth. The shrouded one who commands the hidden aspects of the world. Thieves, spies, and secret keepers pray to her for concealment and discovery of what is concealed by others. She was basically the Facebook of the Pantheon. She knew everything. Karthos was the just balance, or this world's type of Palor, or just baseline good god. Justice, law, and equilibrium. His scales were unerring, his gavel unyielding. Judges, lawkeepers, and all those who seek justice invoke his name. Karos is believed to impart the divine wisdom necessary to discern truth from lies, and right from wrong. So he was he's the balance of law and justice, whereas the remaining good god, Lunaria, is essentially sacrifice and love. And that is about it for our catch-up on Scattered Shores. Should give you guys all the insight you need for jumping into the campaign. I'll highlight this section into sections, so anybody that wants to catch up on this information after joining, you can get it. So I don't have to reiterate all the time on stream. I'll cut it up for you guys so you can watch it.